Unseen punishments extend beyond immediate physical pain. These punishments have long-lasting effects on families. They also impact societies across generations. The consequences are not always immediately visible. Understanding these effects is crucial for addressing systemic issues. The rack was a torture device used in the medieval period. It was designed to inflict extreme pain and long-term physical damage. Victims were stretched by ropes attached to rollers. The rack symbolizes the brutality of medieval justice systems. Rack survivors are depicted in a state of extreme destitution. They are shown crawling and begging in the streets. This imagery serves as a stark warning. The scene is intended to discourage any form of rebellion. Pillories and stocks were instruments of public humiliation and punishment. These devices restrained individuals in a public place. The pillory typically secured the head and hands. Stocks generally restrained the feet. Condemned individuals were subjected to ridicule and abuse from the public. The pillory was a public punishment device used to shame offenders. Placement in the pillory often led to social isolation and shunning. This public humiliation symbolized a form of social death for the individual. The community's rejection effectively rewrote the individual's social identity. Shame became a tool to enforce social norms and discourage future transgressions. The marketplace setting amplified the public nature of the punishment and shunning. Attainder was a legal consequence in medieval England. It resulted from a conviction for treason or felony. Attainder led to the forfeiture of property and hereditary titles. Corruption of blood was a related concept. It prevented the attainted person's descendants from inheriting. Attainder results in the forfeiture of lands and titles. This forfeiture deprives individuals of their property rights. The loss extends to future generations, impacting inheritance. Attainder thus has lasting legal and social ramifications. Descendants of traitors often face severe social repercussions. These individuals may live in poverty due to their family's past actions. They might experience disgrace and social stigma. Escaping the shadow of their ancestors' betrayal can be extremely difficult. The consequences of treason can extend across generations, impacting the lives of descendants. Collateral consequences are additional penalties that arise from a criminal conviction. These consequences extend beyond the direct penalties imposed by the court, such as imprisonment or fines. They can significantly impact various aspects of an individual's life post-conviction. Examples include restrictions on employment opportunities in certain fields. Housing options may also be limited due to a criminal record. Furthermore, certain civil rights, such as voting, can be temporarily or permanently revoked. Denying housing based solely on an individual's criminal record can constitute housing discrimination. Such practices disproportionately affect minority groups, who are often overrepresented in the criminal justice system. This form of discrimination perpetuates cycles of poverty and hinders successful reintegration into society. Fair housing laws generally prohibit discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability. While criminal history is not a protected class under federal fair housing laws, blanket bans may still be discriminatory. Housing providers should consider the nature and severity of the crime, the time elapsed since the offense, and evidence of rehabilitation when making housing decisions. Securing employment after serving a prison sentence presents significant challenges. Many employers are hesitant to hire individuals with a criminal record. This reluctance stems from concerns about liability and trustworthiness. Background checks often reveal prior convictions, creating barriers to entry. Lack of job skills and formal education further compound these difficulties. These factors collectively contribute to high rates of unemployment among ex-offenders. Individuals with criminal records often face significant obstacles in accessing educational opportunities. These barriers can include difficulty in gaining admission to colleges and universities. Financial aid restrictions and limited access to scholarships further impede their educational pursuits. The stigma associated with a criminal record can also create social and psychological barriers to academic success. Convicted felons are sometimes denied the right to vote, even after completing their sentences. This denial is a form of disenfranchisement, limiting participation in democratic processes. The specific laws regarding felon disenfranchisement vary significantly by jurisdiction. Some states permanently ban felons from voting, while others restore voting rights upon release or after parole. The debate over felon disenfranchisement involves considerations of civic rehabilitation and fairness. Children may face emotional and psychological challenges due to parental criminal history. Social stigma and discrimination can affect a child's self-esteem and social interactions. Limited access to resources and opportunities may hinder their educational and career prospects. The absence of a parent due to incarceration can disrupt family stability and support systems. Children may experience increased risk of involvement in criminal activities themselves. The breaking wheel was a medieval instrument of torture and execution. It was designed to inflict severe pain and prolong suffering before death. The wheel was often used in public executions as a form of deterrence. Its purpose was to instill fear and maintain control over the population. The breaking wheel served as a brutal symbol of medieval justice and power. The display serves as a stark warning to the public. It aims to deter potential rebels through a gruesome spectacle. The mangled body symbolizes the severe repercussions of defiance. The wheel amplifies the visual impact, making the warning more prominent. This method intends to instill fear and discourage dissent. The public display reinforces the authorities' power and control. The display of a body on a wheel serves as a potent symbol of state authority. This practice ensures the spectacle is visible from a great distance. The extended visibility amplifies the message of power and control. It creates a lasting impression on the populace. The image reinforces the state's capacity to enforce its laws. Linger, also known as death by 1,000 cuts, was a form of execution used in imperial China. This method involved a prolonged process of systematically cutting the body. Linger was not only a physical execution but also considered a form of spiritual annihilation. The goal was to inflict maximum suffering and dishonor upon the condemned. Linger was a form of execution involving the methodical carving of the body. The process emphasized the destruction of the individual's physical form. This destruction was designed to sever the individual's connection to their ancestors. The act aimed to eliminate not only life but also ancestral ties. A large crowd has gathered to witness the Linger execution. Linger was a form of capital punishment involving prolonged and public dismemberment. The spectacle served as a stark warning against rebellion or treason. Witnessing the gruesome act instilled fear and discouraged dissent. The punishment highlighted the severe consequences of defying imperial authority. Public humiliation has migrated to online social media platforms. Online platforms facilitate rapid dissemination of information. This can lead to widespread and intense public shaming. Reputations can be severely damaged or destroyed by online mob justice. The anonymity afforded by the internet can exacerbate this phenomenon. The permanence of online content means humiliation can persist indefinitely. Online comment sections function as modern-day public forums. These platforms can become spaces where individuals face attacks and public shaming. The anonymity and scale of the internet can amplify negative interactions. This dynamic mirrors historical instances of public humiliation in town squares. The scene depicts a high-profile trial designed to attract significant media attention. The trial's presentation is sensationalized, emphasizing dramatic and emotional elements. This sensationalism serves to amplify the perceived threat or danger associated with the defendant. The media coverage aims to instill fear or anxiety in the public regarding the alleged crime. The overall effect is a spectacle intended to influence public opinion and perception of justice. Fear can be strategically employed to discourage opposition. It functions by creating a climate of anxiety and uncertainty. This anxiety inhibits individuals from expressing dissenting opinions. Ultimately, Fear serves to maintain control by suppressing challenges to authority. Historical punishments represent a dark aspect of human history. These punishments varied widely across different cultures and eras. Many historical punishments were exceptionally cruel and inhumane. The use of torture was a common method of extracting confessions or inflicting pain. Public executions served as a form of deterrence and social control. The legacy of these historical punishments continues to influence modern legal and ethical considerations. The scene juxtaposes historical images with modern city life. This comparison highlights the persistence of unseen punishments across time. It suggests that certain forms of punishment are not always visible. These punishments may be embedded within societal structures. The modern cityscape serves as a backdrop to reveal these ongoing, subtle forms of control. An empty courtroom can symbolize the silence and marginalization of outcasts. The emptiness suggests a lack of justice or representation for certain individuals. It represents a space where voices are not heard or acknowledged. The setting can also signify lost legacies and forgotten histories. The absence of activity implies a decline or abandonment of past ideals. Overall, the empty courtroom evokes themes of isolation, injustice, and the fading of memory. The cemetery setting symbolizes the weight of past generations. It represents the enduring impact of history on the present. The invisible chains suggest unseen constraints inherited from the past. These chains bind current generations to historical burdens and limitations. Ethereal voices suggest a theme of persistent consequences. These voices convey the idea that punishment is ongoing. The whispers imply a sense of inescapable fate. The concept highlights the unending nature of retribution. Unseen punishments encompass penalties that are not directly visible or immediately apparent. These punishments often involve psychological, social, or economic repercussions. Historically, unseen punishments included social ostracism and denial of basic rights. Modern examples involve financial penalties, such as fines and asset forfeiture. Reputational damage through public shaming or online exposure also constitutes an unseen punishment. The long-term effects of unseen punishments can be as detrimental as physical penalties. The act of looking in a mirror can symbolize introspection and self-assessment. Questioning whether society is truly civilized suggests a critical examination of societal norms and values. This reflection implies a potential disconnect between the perceived ideals of civilization and the reality of human behavior. The inquiry invites consideration of ethical standards, justice, and compassion within a community. The vast outdoor landscape serves as a visual metaphor for the extensive scope of history. The open space represents the countless events and eras that have unfolded over time. The enduring nature of the landscape symbolizes the persistent presence of human cruelty throughout history. The unchanging environment highlights the repetitive patterns of conflict and suffering. The daylight setting emphasizes that these events occurred openly and visibly. The combination of these elements creates a powerful statement about the scale and persistence of inhumanity. Listening to history involves understanding past events and their consequences. Historical echoes provide insights into recurring patterns and societal trends. Analyzing historical narratives fosters critical thinking and informed decision-making. Understanding history helps to contextualize current events and challenges. Learning from past mistakes can prevent repeating them in the future. Historical perspective promotes empathy and a broader understanding of diverse cultures. The Iron Maiden was a torture device designed to inflict pain. It was constructed to resemble a human figure. The interior was lined with spikes. Victims were forced inside, resulting in impalement. The Iron Maiden was historically used as a form of public display. Its primary purpose was to instill fear in the general population. The display served as a deterrent against criminal activity. It aimed to discourage crime by showcasing the potential consequences. Psychological torture involves non-physical methods to break a person's will. It aims to induce severe mental suffering, such as anxiety, fear, or helplessness. Techniques include sleep deprivation, isolation, and manipulation of the environment. The goal is to undermine the individual's psychological defenses and resistance. This can lead to coerced confessions or compliance, even from innocent individuals. Public hanging served as a form of punishment in many historical societies. It was often carried out in a public space to maximize visibility. The goal was to deter others from committing similar crimes. The spectacle of the hanging was intended to instill fear and respect for the law. This practice aimed to maintain social order through a visible display of justice. Prison cells are designed to isolate individuals from the outside world. This isolation can lead to a sense of loneliness and detachment. The confined space of a cell contributes to feelings of restriction. Limited interaction with others can exacerbate mental health issues. The dehumanizing conditions of prison can strip away a person's sense of self. Forced labor camps represent a severe violation of human rights. These camps exploit prisoners for economic gain or political objectives. Prisoners are subjected to harsh conditions and minimal compensation. The work is often dangerous, with little regard for safety. Such systems perpetuate injustice and human suffering. International laws condemn and seek to abolish forced labor practices. Historically, psychiatric institutions have been misused for social control. These institutions were sometimes used to suppress political dissent. Individuals with opposing views were occasionally labeled as mentally ill. This misdiagnosis led to unjust confinement in psychiatric hospitals. Such practices effectively silenced and punished those deemed undesirable. This abuse of psychiatry represents a dark chapter in the history of mental health care. Gated communities often represent a physical manifestation of economic segregation. These communities create a distinct separation between wealthy residents and the surrounding population. This separation can lead to social isolation and a lack of interaction between different socioeconomic groups. The presence of gates and security reinforces the divide, highlighting disparities in wealth and access. Technology is increasingly used for population monitoring. Surveillance systems enable constant observation of individuals and groups. Data collection and analysis are integral to this monitoring process. This data can be used to identify patterns and predict behavior. Such technologies allow for enhanced control over the population. Resistance signifies active opposition to established power. It is often a response to perceived oppressive systems. Protests are a common form of resistance. Rebellion represents a more forceful form of resistance. The goal is to challenge and potentially overthrow the oppressive power structures. Education is fundamental for personal and societal development. It provides individuals with essential knowledge and skills. Education fosters critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. It empowers individuals to make informed decisions. Education promotes innovation and progress in various fields. It contributes to a more enlightened and engaged citizenry. Knowledge and information are fundamental resources. They empower individuals with understanding and insight. Access to information fuels innovation and progress. Libraries serve as key institutions for disseminating knowledge. Knowledge and information are essential for societal advancement. Art possesses the capacity to challenge established power structures. It serves as a medium for questioning authority and norms. Artists often use their work to critique societal imbalances. Art can expose injustices and advocate for change. This role positions art as a catalyst for social discourse. Nature exhibits inherent beauty in diverse forms and environments. Gardens showcase this beauty through cultivated arrangements of plants and landscapes. The resilience of nature is evident in its ability to adapt and thrive in various conditions. This resilience allows ecosystems to recover from disturbances and maintain balance. Observing a garden during the day highlights the vibrant colors and intricate details of plant life. The interplay of beauty and resilience underscores the enduring power of the natural world. Family and community provide a fundamental sense of belonging and support. Strong family bonds foster emotional well-being and resilience. Community involvement promotes social connections and mutual aid. Together, they create a nurturing environment for personal growth and societal harmony. Urban environments showcase a wide array of human activities and interactions. City streets reflect the complex social, economic, and cultural dynamics of a population. This diversity is evident in the various architectural styles and infrastructure. The complexity arises from the convergence of different lifestyles and communities. Observing city streets provides insight into the multifaceted nature of urban life. Sunrise is often used as a powerful symbol. It commonly represents hope and optimism. Sunrise signifies the start of a new day. This new beginning can symbolize fresh opportunities. It suggests the possibility of a better future. Sunrise embodies the potential for positive change and growth.